Hey there, Pythonic Accountant here. Today we're going to play with another really powerful coding agent called Claude Code. This one's through Anthropic Claude, and the newest model is now available. And through my Pro subscription, I am able to access the Claude Code in my VS Code. So let's take a look. I've never played with this before. I have a feeling it's going to be similar in capability to the Codex, but potentially a little bit smarter. And what's really cool is you can change what mode you're in. So for now, we're going to start in plan mode. And I'm going to say, let's see, I want to see what you can do. Help me plan a compelling demo of Claude Code to create a, let's see, a simple app that will wow my Pythonic accountant audience. Let's see what it says. Interesting. So it's finding out what the features are of Claude Code. That's really cool. So it's checking to see what it's able to do first, and then it's going to come up with a demo idea. I like the attitude that has. Oh, wow, nice. Okay. So we've got a Claude's plan over here. Expense report analyzer and reconciliation tool solves a real world pain point. Expense categorization and recon shows AI doing tedious work, demonstrates data validation, produce audit trails and reports, the demo flow, 10 to 15 minutes. So initial setup, create a Flask web app with file upload for expense files, simple clean UI. Then you've got smart categorization. Wow, machine learning powered expense categorizer. This is going fancy here. Then matching expenses against categories, generating variance analysis. I like it. The wow moments. Claude Code debugging a tax calculation edge case in real time. So this is flipped to the tax aspect of it. Maybe the whole thing's tax, I'm not sure. But you know what? Let's just go with it, see what it can do. Now it's created a to-do list. This is really cool. I love that it's basically giving itself kind of these instructions on this step-by-step process and then updating it as it goes. And one thing I've noticed is it hasn't actually saved anything here yet. Oh, okay, perfect. So it's writing app.py. That's great. I'm going to flip the order here. That's writing a pretty big program already. That's cool. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and create a virtual environment so it has something to work with here. So within my terminal, I'm going to do python create -nvnb. And then I'm not sure if I need to tell it that I'm using that virtual environment, but I'll say, by the way, I set up a virtual environment in .vn. Discombobulating. This is great. All right. Well, I'm going to pause while it continues writing. Oh, perfect. I'll make sure to use virtual environments. Yeah, I'm gonna pause the recording, let it do its writing. I'm gonna let it kind of pop through these to-dos, and then I'll come back and see where it's at. So still making some really good progress, almost done here, it looks like. But I just want to point out this is very different than working in like a chat interface where you ask for some code, where it will write you maybe a portion of a program or maybe one file without kind of having context to everything else. Check it out. This has written 4 separate Python files. It's given me some web front end aspects, including this index HTML, so we can view the web page and just kind of taking a quick peek at the apps. They seem really well designed. This is like more of the front end. The expense analyzer, you can take a look at the actual expense analyzer class, and it's got some rules that it's put in here, which is it's pretty neat. So you've got categories, and then within each category, some keywords that they look for to identify the category. This is more of a kind of, I guess, not just machine learning, more like hard-coded categorization using keywords, which is still fine as a starting point. So it's not using generative AI. I'm not even sure if it's using AI necessarily yet. So I'm going to ask it. I'm going to say, hey, I thought you were going to use machine learning. It looks like this is just hard coded. But still, pretty good starting point, especially considering this is building this within a matter of minutes. So let's see where we're at. It is now, wow, finishing things up. It's got a requirements and a README. Pretty exciting. Unfurling the last bits. I wonder if it has added anything to the virtual environment yet. Perfect. There's the requirements.txt. It's even creating a GitHub repository or a Git repository. So git ignore. This is awesome. Let's see, pip freeze. And yeah, there's nothing in there yet. So it's not done a pip install yet, but it's set everything up. So that way when I'm ready to, I can pip install the requirements.txt. Ah, it's ready to run it. Sure. Demo script. What is in the demo script? Oh, wow. That's cool. Oh, so there's the command line version and then there's the web version. Very neat. All right, looks like it's just about wrapped up. It's even created a README file, which is pretty cool, which talks about like what the demo does. And now it's doing the virtual environment, so it's actually adding the files to the virtual environment that are in the requirements.txt. So that's exciting. And once that's done, I'm gonna probably try out the Python app.py, and hopefully it'll create this Flask app that we can pull up and try out. And it'll allow us to upload this sample expenses CSV file. And by the way, this is what it looks like. It has a CSV format with date, description, and amount. So very simple. You've got a date, you've got a description. This is where it's going to pull the keywords, and then the amount over on the right. And then we'll see what happens from there. I'm booping. All right, Mr. Booper, let's let it finish up, and then I'll pop back off pause, and we'll try this puppy out. Okay, looks like we are done. It has finished creating the file. It was very excited to share with me, and all I did was just hit yep, yep, yep just a few times to give it permission to run a few things, and now we're ready to test it out. So it said to type in /start_demo.sh, and now it's letting me decide go with the web interface, command line, run tests or exit. Let's go ahead and do the web interface and see if this works. So hopefully this will open up my browser window. And no idea if this will work because I haven't tested it yet. And it doesn't look like it's doing anything. So let's try the tests. Oh, it says matplotlib is building the front cache. This may take a moment. Interesting. Still not seeing anything. I'll try one more time. Oh, okay. All I did was wait. So let's go ahead and upload the expense report. This looks kind of nice. Now let's choose file, and I should be able to navigate to this location. Let's see if I can figure out how to get there. How do I get there? Recent downloads. All right, here we go. Daniel Schwartzstein. Let's go to Playground, and this is under Claude Code Fun, and then sample expenses.csv. So upload, and wow, that was quick. So 50 transactions is the total amount. It had 10 categories, no flagged items. I'm curious what determines a flagged item. Maybe we can stick something in there. And it gives me kind of a breakdown of all the different things. Items requiring review, potential capital expenditure, 5 uncategorized, and 14 weekend transactions. That's pretty cool. Run reconciliation. What does that do? Oh, wow. Download Excel report, download PDF summary. Let's see what the PDF summary looks like. Huh. Well, this isn't perfect, but it is kind of cool. Not expecting this. There's our 50 transactions. This is the daily spending. Cost analysis is pretty fancy. Not bad for a first go with one single prompt. It's insane. Suggested journal entries. Wow, that's really interesting. Oh, I guess to move it out of expenses and into, uh, well, I guess it's attempting journal entries. I don't know if these are right. It probably depends on how the underlying transaction was recorded. We'll give it a pass on that one. But this is pretty neat. So yeah, I'm curious. One, I don't think this uses any machine learning, so I'd be curious why it said it was when it wasn't, and maybe what the thoughts are in doing that as like a future state, and then what the flagged items are. So let's go back and ask it. So it'd be like, all right, let's change this so it doesn't edit automatically. Let's see. How do I do that? Ask before edits. Okay. 2 questions. One, I don't think this is really machine learning. Is it? More like pattern identifying keywords. 2, what was my second question? Oh yeah, what constitutes a flagged transaction? I didn't see any flagged. Let's see what it says. You're right, this is not machine learning. It's rule-based pattern matching, not machine learning. Let me fix the marketing language. Oh, so it's asking me before it changes it. So it changes from an AI-based to rule-based. Pattern matching. Okay, very good. So I'm gonna say, oh, tool interrupted. Whoops. Oh, I think I was supposed to like review it and say okay. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Did I lose my conversation? Past conversations. There we go. Well, let's just say, okay, go ahead and edit. So I see that's pretty cool. It opened it up in a new window. I was supposed to hit like check to approve the edit. Let's see if it does the same thing again. It's all a learning process. All right, so yeah, it popped this open. I have to review it. And if I'm good with it, I will accept the proposed changes. There we go. Now it made those changes. It's editing the README again. Yeah, so it doesn't learn from corrections. It's rule based. Very good. Yeah, so you can see the first time I did this, I did not ask for it to give me changes to approve. I just told it it could do whatever it wanted and just go ahead and build everything, which is cool when you're doing like a whole bunch of coding at once, but it may be a little more dangerous if you're starting with a code base that you don't want to accidentally break something. Better to do it like this where it will propose the change before changing it. And this is just a README file, I know, but when you're dealing with actual code, it could be an issue. So now it's answering my second question. What is a flag transaction? Large transactions over 5,000, potential capital expenditures. So interesting. So it did flag. Yeah, so it did flag one of those. If you pull, we can actually pull this back open because I didn't shut down the whole thing. So let's choose the file again, and we'll choose the sample expenses, the original one. You'll see it didn't have anything under flagged items, but when you go down below, it did have that item requiring review. So it's interesting that it showed up down there, but not in the flagged items. So let's see what it says. It's going to update the README. So we'll try running this again, but using, I think the only change it made was to the creating a new file for us to run. Still no flagged items there. So I'm going to give it that feedback. I'm going to say in the summary, it still shows flagged items at 0, although it does flag some items below for review, etc. Let's see if it can figure out what the issue is. Sussing, nice. Ah, the summary is calculated before the flags are generated. That'll do it. So now it's going back and trying to fix the issue. And, aha. Yep, passing the flags, get an accurate count. And I don't know if I will need to redeploy the app or if it's going to automatically make the changes. Looks like it's making another change here just to be consistent. And we'll see what happens. Oh wow, this is great. It's updating the test to check that the summary calculations are good. I love it. You know what we should do? Let's run the test suite just to see what it does. So I'm going to finish letting it make its edits. And I change it so now it's edit automatically. And so when it's done doing the edits, we're going to go ahead and run the test suite and see if the tests all pass. And I'm sure they will because I think it just ran the test suite right there. But it'll be fun to just kind of see it ourselves. Sure. Yep, so let's start the demo. I'm going to run the test suite. 18 passed. That's great. Okay, now let's go back and do the web browser. So web interface, I'm going to open up the app and let's choose our file. And let's do the original one because there you go. Perfect. 3 flagged items. And those are the 3 items down below. Capital expense, uncategorized transactions, and weekend transactions. So it's not the number of flagged transactions, it's like flagged items, but that still totally works. So I don't know. This is pretty cool, guys. The only thing I might try to do next is like actually add AI, but I think that's a whole nother level. But this is pretty neat to me. So I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to do a lot more of using these AI agents to help us code because this is amazing. I think this is really the future of coding, and my Python and accounting definitely is taking a step up by automating a significant portion of it. So if you like this, please like and subscribe, and we will see you at the next one. And thanks for watching.